Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Néstor Campos. I'm the founder of Techgethr. That is not a typo. It's not a simple name, but that's our company. The idea today is talk about as the title, the future of payments and services using blockchain with XRP ledger and interledger protocol in Latin America. But these ideas apply to other regions in the world, Africa, Asia, and more. That's my experience I'm from Chile, of South America. That's the idea. Sorry. Maybe you can think in Latin America, we are very similar. Latin American people, we share the same language, except for Brazil, they speak Portuguese, we speak Spanish. But in other contexts, we are very different. For example, in the economy, with political issues, also how we use byproducts and services. So if you are thinking in build products for this subcontinent, the idea is to explain our problems, to understand that if you are thinking to build products for this region. So the idea is talk about our problems. Maybe you have the same problems in your countries, in your continent, and opportunities, and later about solutions we are building. So you can take these ideas, change, improve that, and apply it in your countries. So in which part we have more pain? What are our main problems? At first, before I start to say that problems, for us, financial inclusion is not just about give new people excluded for the traditional financial system, just give a credit card, just a new bank account. For us, that is not inclusion. Inclusion for us is give opportunities, give the opportunity to decide, to get more choices, how they can use their own money. We learn in the process, in these years, people, the first problem, in some countries, for example, in Argentina, I'm from Chile, but I was born in Argentina, every year we have at least 100% in inflation every year. It's very difficult to live there. Every day you lose money, you lose the power to buy things. So we don't trust in the money, we don't trust in central bank, for example, in that country, because the central bank is not independent, depend of the current government. And it's very important to understand that because in Argentina exists an informal bi-monetary system. The local currency is called Argentina peso, but the people try to use the US dollar for saving or for buy or sell services. The point here, the first problem in this big problem is, for example, the Argentinian government just allow people to buy every month just $200. If you want more dollars, you need to go an illegal market. It's called the dollar blue. If not, you can buy a crypto dollar, some other crypto dollar, or even a crypto euro. So Argentinian people understand about cryptocurrency. They understand about the stable coins because they have the needs of that, to understand that, because they don't trust in the fiat currency. But next to Argentina is Chile, where I live. In Chile, we don't understand about the stable coins. We don't use stable coins because our fiat currency, the Chilean peso, is stronger than the euro or dollar. So even a crypto dollar or crypto euro, it's weaker than our fiat currency. So in two countries in the same region, we are very different. In one side, you have a country with knowledge about cryptocurrency, and in my current country, we don't understand that. We trust in fiat. We trust in the current central bank, in our government. The second problem is corruption. When a lack of transparency between public and private sector. For example, some months ago, some politician Chilean people steal money from public money, but in this country, in my country, sometimes if it's not too much money, we say it's just an error. Even if $1 million or $1 is corruption, but if we say it's an error, so sometimes we allow that kind of behavior. It's a big problem, so that's why sometimes we are not interested to paying taxes, because if we know the money is still stolen, so I'm not interested to pay that, to pay taxes. It's a big problem. The third problem is informality, because it's very expensive to accept digital payments. For example, depending on the country and company, but between 3 and 7% is the commission fee for any transaction, except credit or debit card, even prepaid card. So that's why in local stores, in big stores, in these countries, just the companies, the stores just accept cash. So that provokes more informality in the economy. Sometimes also because of the pandemic, many people are selling their products with cash on the streets. They prefer that. They don't prefer to pay that high commission fees. And the fourth problem, the last problem, as we call in Latin America the financial bike, or in Spanish, bicicleta financiera. So imagine you have a family, but you don't have money. You need to eat, you need to live in a place. With that, so you need to request a loan or use a credit card. With a credit card, you pay your basic needs: food, rental, health, education, etc. When you receive your salary at the end of the month, with that money, you pay the loan. You pay the credit card. And the next month, you need to request a new loan or use again the credit card to pay bills again, to pay the basic needs. That is a vicious circle. It's a big problem. In this context, the problem is not the money itself. The problem is the access to the money in the right time. And what are the solutions? What are our ideas and what we are working? Some of these ideas we are working, others are just ideas, so you can copy, you can improve, etc. At first, in 2022, we start a new project called PeerPay. We understand in the process, people don't know, don't understand, and don't need to understand about what is blockchain, or the difference between one blockchain or another blockchain. They don't understand that. But they do understand, or they can understand, the difference between blockchain, Bitcoin as a currency, XRP as a currency, the fiat currency, even the central bank digital currency. They understand the difference between currencies, not between networks, not between technologies. And because the money is very important in our life. With that, we understand we need to build products, and we are building a payment system to enable people send and receive any type of money. For example, from Bitcoin to XRP, and in any fiat currency from Bitcoin to a central bank digital currency. And for that, we are working with XRP public ledger, integrated with Interledger protocol, to integrate with other banks, with other financial systems, with other blockchain networks. And also, for example, the last year we won the Ripple CBDC hackathon, and we integrate the Ripple private ledger to integrate that. The idea, in this context, we understand the inclusion is about to give people the choice of decide what kind of money they prefer. In some point, they prefer fiat, they prefer CBDC, or they prefer crypto. Instead of say fiat versus crypto versus CBDC, it's fiat with crypto with CBDC. The people, the market decide that. The second idea we are working is local stablecoin. Again, for example, in Argentina, they are using crypto dollar. They need to use that. But in Chile, not. We are not interested to use a US crypto dollar, but it's very interesting to think about a Chilean digital peso. Because maybe it's not a big market, Chile, for example, but with that, we can be a competitor with other payment processors for cheaper and faster payments instead of pay between 3 and 7% in any transaction. That's the idea, create more local currencies, local stable coins in these countries. Maybe in your region, you can think in a similar way. In this case, we are using XRPL function specifically with fungible tokens and payments. The problem with local stablecoins is very similar to fiat. With fiat, you lose value every day if you don't use that money. That's why we are thinking in stablecoins with a real-world asset. The idea, for example, backed by property, real estate, stocks, commodities, and more. An example, in Chile, exists the Chilean peso and the UF. UF in Spanish is Unidad de Fomento, in English, Production Unit. The currency code for that is CLF. It's not a real currency, it's just an index. Let me give you an example. In this context, for example, we are friends and you borrow me $1. So I lend you $1 and you need to pay me back in 1 month. In 1 month, you need to pay me just with 0% interest, without interest. So you need to pay me back just $1. I lend you $1, you pay me back $1. The problem is with, for example, with that dollar today, I can buy, for example, a chocolate. But in 1 month, I cannot buy the same chocolate because the inflation. So maybe if I lend you money with 5% of interest, so you need to pay me $1.50 in 30 days. But if the inflation in 1 week, in 1 month is 10%, maybe in Chile it doesn't happen that, but in Argentina does. 10%, even with interest, still I lose power with that money. With 5% of interest, but the inflation is 10%. So that index in Chile, UF, represents an amount of Chilean peso that increase or decrease every month, depending on the inflation. Let me give you other example. Now, you borrow me the same dollar, for example, but let's assume right now $1 is 1 UF. Okay? So in the next month, you need to pay, we agree right now, you owe me 1 UF. In the next month, you need to pay me 1 UF, but in the next month, with 10% of inflation, you need to pay me back 1 UF in that time represent $1.1. So with $1 today, I need $1.1 in one month to buy, for example, the same chocolate, the same product. That's the idea. Because maybe I don't want to charge an interest. Maybe I don't get more money with that lending that money. But with that, at least we protect ourselves of the inflation. In Chile, we use that index, for example, to charge our professional service for paying education, health. That's the idea, using an index similar to that. The idea we are working in creating a stable coin which try to keep the value now and in the future, similar to that. Sometimes some people call that kind of stable coins a flat coin. We are using fungible tokens, payments, we are trying to use hooks, and later the EVM sidechain in this process. Other solution, other idea is money as a stream, so streaming money. Because, again, sometimes the problem is not the money, it's the access to the money in the right time. For example, if I work every day, maybe if I work in a big company, maybe the company can pay me every day an amount, part of my salary every day, or maybe every week. That's the idea. So to receive a salary, for example, in Web3, it happened with content creators. But the idea is copy that in any type of job. That's the idea. We are trying to use payment channels because they are more transactions. So the idea to keep this process cheaper. The idea is integrate using payment channels because some part happened outside of the network. And using also interlayer protocol. The idea is integrate with banks, with other systems without a blockchain. This idea we are working now, but depends of big companies. Just big companies have the liquidity and money to pay every day or every week part of the salary. That's why we are thinking in build buy now, pay later products. Maybe you work in a micro, small, or medium business, so you don't have the money, you don't receive the salary every day or every week, and with that, we are working in enable wallets using checks. We don't need to build a new smart contract. We check on XRP Ledger, it's done. We can enable, for example, in local neighborhood, between a local merchant, a little store, the idea to accept or deliver products and service and collect the money at the end of the month with their best customers. We are working in that, for example, again, in local communities. That's the idea. Sometimes in Latin America, this happens, but without outside of the financial system, just a notebook, we all writing in a notebook between the local merchant and the best customers. And also we are trying to work with the scrolls. Maybe we check work between the best customers and the local merchant. But if you are a new customer in this local store, maybe you need to deposit a guarantee, a little of money, for enable that kind of function. That's the idea. It's your money, but maybe you don't have that money right now. That's why we are using checks in this point. And the last one is offline payment channels. In this region, we are 700 million of people. With that, between 30 and 40% of the people live in rural communities without access to internet, without access to a smartphone. So it's very or impossible or very difficult to enable them in the digital economy, because they don't have access to internet, they don't have to a point of sale machine, nothing. We are exploring right now using mobile networks using just SMS. The text messaging maybe integrate with a large language model to facilitate the process to accept and receive money. Because maybe they don't have a smartphone, but they have old phone with a physical keyboard. That's the idea in this content, and also using payment channels, because many of the transactions will happen really outside of the network. And also, again, with interledger protocol. We are building, we are working in these ideas because it's very important to understand. For us, financial inclusion is more just give money or give access to the money. There is many realities, many situations in this continent, in your countries, in all parts of the world. So, as a summary, Latin America, again, as in all the world, we have many challenges in financial inclusion. Again, for us, we learn in the process, it's not fiat versus crypto versus CBDC. It's fiat with crypto with CBDC. It's not forcing a people to use just a specific kind of currency. The people decide in some point what type of currency they can use. Because, again, for example, in Argentina, they don't trust in fiat or CBDC, they prefer crypto. But in Chile, for now, we prefer fiat or CBDC because we trust in the central government. Maybe in Brazil, they trust in central banks. Maybe, I don't know, for Brazil in this context, the idea, but in some point, I'm talking about in some point with a new government in Chile, we don't trust in that government, we don't trust in the central bank, so the idea is move the money from my fiat, my CBDC, to a crypto wallet, where I manage that process. We need to understand the inclusion is not just give these opportunities, also it's about education. People don't understand how the money works, so it's very difficult to enable them or explain about public and private keys, about ledger, etc. We need to go step by step. Maybe they can start with fiat. Maybe it's not the best currency, but they can start with that. When they learn more, they can move their money to a crypto wallet, maybe decentralized or centralized wallet, depends of them. And the idea is working with that. In this case, is enable them in the digital economy without explain the technical complexities. We are working with that, again, using XRP ledger, the public ledger, and the private ledger, because, again, we understand the central bank digital currency are part of the future of the money. Of course, the cryptocurrency. Maybe the fiat, for now, are part of the present. I don't know if they are part of the future, but we still have fiat currency, and that's our idea. So that was my presentation. If you have some ideas, we can share later. If you can copy that ideas or improve, that is perfect, because maybe these ideas apply to other countries. And the idea was sharing my experience. So thank you for your attention and time.
Thank you, Néstor, for that presentation. I believe we have a little bit of time for one question, if there are any questions from the audience. Yep.
I was just checking the sentence that was written before in the first slide.
The first? Sorry?
Yeah, there it's written without user needing to know. unless they want to.
Maybe see, it's not right. Well, so, without the idea is enable products and services without explaining people about, or they don't need to know or understand about what is blockchain. The idea is enable them. They understand about cryptocurrencies. They understand about the money. They don't need to understand about the technology behind that, behind the network. They don't need to understand that. It's our vision. In some process, they need to understand that. But in the future, the idea is enable them, for example, to use Bitcoin. They need to understand about Bitcoin as a currency. In some point, the idea is they can use that without understand about the network, how works, for example, the Bitcoin, the Lightning Network, because that's the idea. Because they don't understand how, for example, maybe many millions of people, they don't understand how the money work in banks. But still, we are using banks, we are using that kind of money. That's the idea. Maybe it's not the perfect idea, but we need to start from that. And later, with the time, while they are using that kind of money, with the time, they can learn about these technologies, because in some point, they need to decide if they prefer that money, that technology, and later they can move or not. I not say they don't need to understand to use, but the idea is give them the opportunity to learn that.
The trust in that sense. Because I heard there would be also a lot talking about now about the programmability of these stable coins or the CBDCs. They would have these kind of features of programmability. And in that sense, I was maybe more focused on the term used, no need to know. So that's
yes. That's the idea. Again, we understand. It's important to understand how the money works, how the money it's built. But in sometimes to enable them right now, immediately, we need to build products without technical complex. It's take the best of the Web3 and the best of the Web2. The Web2 sell you or some products without explain you how the technology is behind that. That's our vision right now, and we are trying to work that, understanding that situation.